What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wes Grind. You're watching Sub Urban Nerd, this channel where I give my nerd views on today's nerd news, but also nerd reviews on today's movies. Well, I finally get to make a review of Justice League, the movie. I've watched it about 2 times now, and the reason I haven't done it, like, I know I should have probably did the review back when it first came out, because I did see it when it first came out, is just the fact that I wanted to see it a second time before I went and did a review, because I didn't know if there were some things I might have missed, so I wasn't sure, but because when I watch a movie, I am that type of person that pays attention a lot, and if anyone has any questions, they pretty much come to me. But just because I wanted to just be precise with this movie, I watched the second time so that I can really come up with some examples when I'm talking about the things I'm talking about when I'm talking about this movie. I know that sounds redundant, but go with me. But I'll start off first with my overall feelings of the movie. I liked it. I liked the movie. I did like it a lot, because you know what, compared to what DC has done with the other movies, other than Wonder Woman, I love that movie, yo. That's my jam. But other than that, DC hasn't really hit it that well for me. Man of Steel, I did like. It was a little dark, and I didn't understand the whole idea of, you know, with breaking his neck, because I understood why he had to break his neck in a Man of Steel. Spoilers, you know, if you haven't seen that movie already. But I understand why he broke his neck, because where are you gonna put this guy in jail? Like, Earth isn't ready for superhuman beings. They don't have anything to lock him down. But the whole thing of him keeping his eyes straight and then trying to burn him, like, he could have just looked to the right and cut those people in half. You know, that's one thing that I was like, wait a second, why is he struggling to turn his head? Can he not use his laser visions with his eyes like regular people, or does he have to have his head straight and then look like this to cut them? But regardless of the fact, I did like the movie. I gave him slack because this guy, Man of Steel, which was played by Henry Cavill, he just became Superman. He had the powers. He had just learned to fly, literally like hours before the invasion stuff. So, and then when they attacked, he was not ready. And Zod was a military guy, so he's trained to fight. So Zod coming into these powers, going against this Man of Steel and Superman, I understand why he would, like, you know, he, like, a lot of things I don't like about Superman in general is he's not one to shy the fight away from the danger. Like, Dragon Ball Z back in the day, when Goku used to care about people in lives, he would always, like, if there was a battle in the city, he would say, let's take this out. Let's take this away from the city. And then they would follow them. Bam. Superman, he could literally just punch a guy out of the city into, like, the desert, whatever's next to him, and then just go on. But he never does. He always fights right in the middle of the city, and that's one thing I didn't like about Superman. But I did give him slack for this, because he wasn't a Superman. He wasn't Superman yet. He just got the suit. So when they fought inside the city, definitely understood why there was collateral damage. Because it's like if you were in a bar and the guy just straight up sneaks you, it's like you ain't gonna be like, let's take this outside. You're gonna swing back, and then you guys are gonna probably mess up the bar. That's pretty much how I take it. So that's my view as far as on Man of Steel. But going into this movie, finally getting a review, I did like how in the beginning, with the whole cam thing, how they kind of showed Man of Steel or Superman having like a nicer side or more brighter side, because in Batman vs Superman it was really dark. He seemed really gloom, and I didn't like that movie because the story was just convoluted. It didn't make sense, and the extended version was better, but it still wasn't that good to me. But with Henry Cavill in this one, in the first scene, you see they're going brighter. In fact, the suit was a little bit lighter. The S was a little bit brighter. The blue was a little bit brighter, more shinier though. I don't know how I feel about that, but hey, I get what they're going for. More lighter-hearted Superman. But going through that right off the back, you know, they've got the Batman, and I did like the Batman scene because it did seem reminiscent of the Tim Burton Batman, where you know, Michael Keaton shows up on the roof with the bad guy, beats him up, and I was trying to understand the reason of this. I did like the scene itself, but how Batman knew where it was coming, I don't know. Batman has technology. But when Batman left, I was like, wait a second, the guy's tied up on a roof. Is Batman gonna get the cops for them or something like that? I don't know. Normally I would have been like, if he had left the guy hanging, whatever, that would have been something, but he kind of left the guy just on the roof tied up after the parademon, whatever, comes. And then it goes into the, you know, the Zack Snyder's whole slow motion with the songs playing, and that the song, it was okay. It wasn't that crazy for me. Like, it's one of those Zack Snyder things that he always does. And then it goes, and then they have the Wonder Woman scene with the bank robbery, which I give it. They definitely know how to do Wonder Woman good, because like the whole thing where she's going busting in and then punching the people, whatever, and knocking them out. And then I'm trying to remember, like, wait a second, she just happens to be on a roof or something like that, like. And then, but going back to the fight, she goes down, and then when the guy the bomb, she throws it up and it explodes, and then she comes back down. The guy's about to shoot the crowd. She goes and she's blink, bang, 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 like real quick. And I was like, damn! Everybody in the theater was like, that shit was hot. But the one thing that I was told before coming in this is she really overuses this whole, the thing that she used in Batman vs Superman, where she, to block Doomsday thing, and she also did it in a Wonder Woman movie where she, clashes her things and it makes this epic explosion. And the guy has a gun, shoots, she blocks it, and then she goes over to, right before she goes up to him, she goes like this, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa! This dude's human! These people around you! That thing makes an explosion! What happens in a bank? Like, why would you use that against a human? You could literally just flick him, and then he's out. But like, that's kind of the thing. She uses it a lot in this movie, is what I was told. But going on to that, you go to the Batman scene, the Aquaman. I like Jason Momoa, and I'm just gonna kind of go right down the line of people as far as the actors and how I like them and what portrayal. I'll start off with Batman. First of all, Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck, once again, he's killing it. But I'm just kind of sad while watching this. I can understand why the box office didn't return that much, because while watching this the whole time, I'm like, are you not gonna be Batman in a Batman solo film? Is it going to be someone different? So while you're watching, you're sort of distracted because you like him as Batman, but it's for some reason you just, in your head, you can't get to the fact that through these interviews and stuff, he's all wishy-washy, like, maybe I'll do it, maybe I'm not. When he's really trying to get out of it, which I understand, because if I'm on board a sinking ship, I want to get out of that thing too, because he was on board when it seemed like DC knew what they were doing as far as, okay, we're gonna make you the director, you're gonna be Batman, and then this and that, we got this lined up, and then all of a sudden they just started like, no, maybe we're not going to do that. Maybe we won't have you as a director. Oh, your script, we're going to have it rewritten. So then, like, you come into this thinking, you're going to be part of this. All of a sudden, they taking away your views. They're taking away this, and you're just going to be playing this character for them. And you've already seen that they don't know what they're doing. He's an Oscar-winning director. So why are you going to doubt him when you guys ain't get your shit together? That's how I feel. And I know that's probably how he feels, so he doesn't want to be doing this. But regardless of the fact, he was still a Batman, badass in this movie. He had these moments. Granted, they had a little bit lighthearted. Like, there's one scene where, Henry Cavill, spoiler alert, Superman's in the movie. He pulls him up, and he's like, "Do you bleed?" And he knocks him down against the car, and then when they go off, he rolls over. He's like, "Yeah, I'm definitely bleeding." So he definitely had some funny moments. Gal Gadot, like, he killed it as far as Wonder Woman. One thing about this movie is this thing had gratuitous shots for everybody. For Wonder Woman, just watch it. If you watch it again, watch after Batman gets a flash and they show up on the airport. Literally, the camera's set right behind Gal Gadot's ass. It's right behind it. It looks nice in these jeans, because I love girls in these, like, I don't know what is, like, spandex, leather, playtex, I don't even know, but pretty much all girls' asses look good in these things. And it was a straight gratuitous shot ass. That was for the dudes. And then for Jason Momoa, dude had his shirt off all the time. So he's like, okay, granted, that's for girls. But the one thing I didn't understand is when Superman got put into the what's it called, the chamber, was the same thing they did was they bring him back to life. Dude was in a full suit, but when he comes out, dude is shirtless. I was like, yo, whoa. He had a shirt on in this. Did he just explode out of the shirt? But he had the pants on, so he couldn't explode out of everything. So I don't understand. Did he come out and was like, oh man, my shirt's wet, need to take this off? I just didn't understand. So that, right off the bat, I'm just letting you know, it has everything for everybody. For the guys, for the girls, gratuitous shots galore. Just letting you know that. But going back to the characters, whatever. Gal Gadot, she definitely killed it as far as being Wonder Woman. Her fight scenes are always epic, always good. Next year, you got Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa, my man. He was always good, yo. But he definitely was using that, my man, real lot. It's like, it makes you feel like, the Staples button where it's like, that was easy. It's like they should have one just for Aquaman, Jason Momoa, my man. Like, you doing something, be like, yo, Thanks. No, forget. I'm not gonna say thanks, my man. You go to the pizza. Oh, you put the onions and mushrooms on, my man. Or like you get out of the Uber. Yeah, you got me here mad quick, my man. Like I feel like I would have used that on a regular basis, yo. Going to Henry Cavill, like I said, they made him a little bit lighthearted. He definitely was more fun in this one than he was in other films, especially at the end when he finally comes in. And the one thing I loved about this is when they brought in him against Steppenwolf, there was no contest. Once Superman came in here, one hitter quitter. Like, Steppenwolf had no competition against Superman, which is what they kind of showed, like when he came out of the chamber, kind of head messed up a little bit. They showed that he is Superman. No one is like, the best scene was after he had everyone hold, like, he had Wonder Woman in one hand, he had what's it, Aquaman in the other, and then Cyborg was trying to push him, and then Flash was trying to come around from the side, and then like while he's coming, all of a sudden you see Henry Cavill's eyes like slow motion. That's when you're like, damn. You could see it on Flash's face because he was like, and everybody had that look on their face. But granted, it was definitely a scene. Him definitely trying to dodge Superman was fun, but except that shoulder check, definitely, like, as light as it might seem, you could see why he's got him because that's Superman. One little shrug and you out. So Henry Cavill was definitely good in this. As little as he was in this, I did like him when he definitely put on a suit and he was back into the game. Ezra Miller, the Flash, I love. He was fun. He was one of the standouts because he was that person that made you understand, like, if you were part of a superhero team, you would be geeking out too. Like, when he went to the Batcave, he was like, yo. Like, he was just like, shoot, oh my god, there's a Batcave, shoot. He's like, you know what I'm saying? So it was definitely fun seeing this guy doing this thing because, like, you'll be doing the same thing. Like, the whole thing where Batman shows up and then he definitely, they played him off as a geek kind of, but the one thing I didn't understand going with Ezra is at the end, like, you've got Batman on your side. Like, Batman bought the house back for his mom. But for Clark's mom or Superman's mom, you would have figured Batman probably would have got the best lawyers to get your dad out of jail. But he got you a job. But your dad's still in jail. Don't really understand that. But hey, whatever. Maybe that's for the sequel or something like that. Or for Flash's movie. But like I said, if it was me, I would have been like, hey, getting a job's cool and all, but you think you might be able to get a lawyer because the whole thing around my dad being locked up? I don't think he's not guilty. Could you work with me? But hey, if that's what they're not gonna do, whatever. But Ezra Miller, like I said, he was one of the standouts for the movie. Loved the guy, loved the character. He was definitely fun, and I liked his personality. Also, with one of the best and funniest scenes in that whole movie was the scene where Jason Momoa, Aquaman, is sitting on a rope, and he'd be like, you know what? We're gonna die, and I'm cool with that. But you got healed. This guy ain't got no powers. You're tripping over your feet. You Wonder Woman. Yeah, man. Yeah, you look good. He's like, if me, I'm single. You know what? Like me, I like this shit I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good-looking guy. And he's like talking. Everyone's looking like, why is he telling us so much information? And then you realize he's sitting on a lasso of truth. And that was one of the funniest moments. You know what I'm saying? And Jason Momoa definitely played it off cool. But and a lot of people also like are iffy about the Jason Momoa. Like, yo, Jason Momoa, Aquaman. It makes sense. He's a, like, surfer dude. Like, it makes sense for him to be the way he is. He's not royalty. He isn't trained or whatever. He's like a guy that just likes water, which is like a surfer, swimming in the thing. So like, it definitely understand the whole surfer vibe that he's got. I just wish they showed a little bit more, like he went to different cities or something like that. And that's one thing about this movie. It was good, but I wish it was a little bit longer to flush out all the other characters, because you just feel like there's just some scenes that, like, also in the trailers, they showed so many scenes that just weren't in there. With Cyborg, with Superman, Aquaman, like, all of them, like, they just weren't in there. But regardless of the fact, going on from Ezra Miller, which, like I said, standout, we've got Ray Fisher, which is a Cyborg. Cyborg, he definitely was good, too. He definitely stood out. Like, he was robotic, but then when he started getting back his, like, humanity, when he was, like, getting closer, like, one of the best scenes also was when they were inside digging up Superman's grave, and then they were trying to talk, and they were like, okay, so they're the gods, and how'd you get your powers? He was like, oh, there was lightning struck me, whatever. And he's like, how'd you get your powers? You know, like I was an accident, and then they put this thing, and here I am. So they were both, this Ezra Miller is pretty much like, so they're the gods, and we're the accidents. And then he was like, yeah, we're the accidents. And I like that little vibe they had going there. I definitely felt it. J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon. He wasn't in there that much, but he did play it well. Amber Heard is the Aquaman. I forget the name of Aquaman's queen or whatever, but she was in there pretty good. You know, they had Jesse Eisenberg that was still in there for a brief moment, but it was, you know, trailer, spoiler alert, is all it end with the trailers, which I granted that was one of the best post-credit scenes that I've seen in a while. Steppenwolf, I didn't... Everyone's talking how bad about it, how it is with the CG. Like, they're talking about how the CG in this movie is not that good. Like, the Superman thing, I mean, I watched it, and I didn't, you know, the mustache gate or whatever, I didn't notice it that much. I could see it, whatever, but it didn't ruin the movie for me. Steppenwolf, his face was definitely, it was acquired taste. His reason for fighting, I heard that in the trailers or whatever, initially, the mother boxes had the essence of his mother. Mother May or whatever her name is, and that would have been a little bit more compelling. You could have understood why he's fighting so hard to get these mother boxes, other than it's, you know, do it for Darkseid, but for his mom, that if you put them together, he could access his mom's essence that's in them. So that would have made you a little bit more fleshed out as far as Steppenwolf, and would have made you kind of feel for him a little bit more, than other than him just the bad guy that shows up, whips everybody's ass into the end when they all fight together to take him down. And it did take him a while to take him down, but it was, his character just was like, it was much to be left, like you could feel that there was a much more that they could have fleshed out of him, but they just didn't. Jeremy Irons is, you know, Alfred. He definitely killed it once more, but he just did his whole Alfred thing, you know, give advice, and bam, we're good. But all in all, like I said, I pretty much run through the movie, and as far as the characters, I did enjoy it. It was fun. You could tell that there was a little bit here and there between Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon's view, but you gotta give it slack that Zack Snyder, he had to leave the project. His daughter died in suicide, whatever, and he had to leave. And then with Joss Whedon, he comes in, the movie was done. The movie was done. He just was able to do reshoots and add a little bit of ad-lib, like, as far as like characters saying different things, and give it a little bit more levity vibe. So I understand the movie isn't great, but the movie's good compared to other DC movies, and that's why I would actually give this a B. I would give this a B for the simple fact that with all that they had to do, all they had to crush, granted they should have probably just held it off a little bit longer to get it right. But you want to kind of get this out at the end of the year, the holiday season, where you can get the most. But they should have probably added a little, at least they chopped it down to 2 hours. They should have put, this is Justice League. You know what I'm saying? 2.5 hours, everyone would have been happy with it. That wouldn't have been like it's too long. You know what I'm saying? Everyone was happier with the 3-hour version that Zack Snyder did. That wasn't in the movie theaters, because it was 2 hours and 30 minutes. So you got to understand, like, if it failed before, and you crunch it down to 2 hours, and granted, you did this while, you know, bringing in Joss Whedon and having him rush to do this stuff, you know, give it a little bit, especially when you have all these scenes in the trailers and just don't have them out. So I know this is a long, you know, like a review, but like I said, this movie was it definitely could have been better, but it was good for what it was compared to the other movies that is grouped up with. And I'm hoping that the box office sales and domestically that aren't bad doesn't deter the fact that they should go forward with the DCU as they are now. I don't want them doing all these different spin-offs, whatever. Like Gotham City Sirens, don't know why they're doing that, but they should stay on track and have focus, because if like Marvel, they've already after the Avengers Infinity War, Avengers 4. They've already got 20 movies laid out, and it isn't 20 different, like, you know, movies for each character. It could be like a different character with like sequels, you know, planned out. So they've got their shit together. DC, get your shit together. So that's pretty much my review. It's a B. You guys should watch it. It's fun, and you'd probably like it. If you don't, leave me a comment. So remember to like, share, tell all your friends. you know, like, I'm trying to still grow this show, this YouTube video, this YouTube channel of mine, and I would definitely appreciate all the support I could get. So remember, I'm Wes Grant. You've been watching Sub Urban Nerd. If you've just been nerdified, and remember to check out, subscribe, check out the other reviews of movies, check out the playlist of the reviews, and you've just been nerdified. Catch you guys on the next movie.